The start of the new year also means the start of new laws going into effect around the country. And some of the big ones include restrictions for minors on social media and a minimum wage bump for nearly half the country. More than 9 million Americans across 21 states will see an increase in their minimum wage starting January 1st. Nearly 1 in 5 of those receiving a bump in pay are below the poverty line. The federal minimum wage of $7.25 hasn't budged since 2009. For more, I want to bring in CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. Jessica, good to see you. So several states are set to implement new laws placing restrictions on minors' social media usage in 2025. So how does that be enforced? How will that be enforced, and what do parents need to know?
Well, awareness is a big part of these laws, frankly. It's not just about the law in effect. It's also about kind of an education campaign saying to parents that there are some issues with minors and social media. In terms of the enforcement, it's a great question. And the answer is there is no perfect enforcement. So, these laws vary on everything from usage to content moderation to age verification. And some laws are stricter than others. For some age verification, you basically just have to check a box. For other age verification laws, you have to upload a government ID. For usage, sometimes it's more like a good faith effort. Sometimes platforms will enforce and kick you off after a certain period of time. But it's a combination of cooperation between parents, platforms, and the government. In terms of specific government oversight, for instance, by the FTC, oftentimes we're talking about random audits, which is imperfect, but essentially the best we can do right now. And obviously there are jurisdictional issues because these are not just multi-state social media platforms, they're also global media platforms.
Right. We'll have to see how all that's implemented. It looks like some in January, some in July. So let's talk about driving and texting or talking on your phone. Colorado and Missouri are implementing new hands-free driving laws. It goes beyond just no texting and driving. It makes it physically illegal to physically hold your phone at all. And similar laws are already in place in dozens of other states. Have those been effective? And what would it mean this would be a secondary offense?
Yeah, really important questions. Many of these law studies indicate have been effective in terms of reducing what we want to reduce, crashes and specifically fatalities, the worst type of crash, obviously. The studies indicate that the most effective laws are those that are most aggressively enforced. What do we mean by aggressively enforced? That people are actually checking, police officers are actually pulling you over, and that the fine is substantial. For instance, not like in California where it's $20 or $30. In terms of secondary offense, what that really means is police officers need another reason to pull you over. It can't be, oh, I saw you on your phone, you were holding your phone. It has to be, you didn't signal, then you pull the person over and you think that secondarily they might have been violating one of these laws. So it does mean that enforcement is harder, which the statistics would indicate means that they won't be as effective as they could be.
Jessica Levinson, thank you. Happy New Year to you. If you don't have plans, you can join us on New Year's Eve for our countdown to 2025. As we look ahead to a new year, we'll take a look back at some of the biggest stories of 2024, from national and political news to entertainment headlines and everything in between. We'll also take you live to Times Square for the iconic ball drop. The countdown to 2025 begins at 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, right here on CBS News 24/7.